Hey coaches, welcome back to another CoachNow AMA. I'm Spencer, the founder of CoachNow, and with me here is Jerem, our Academy manager. We get hundreds of questions each and every week on not only how to use CoachNow, but how to run your coaching businesses. So we want to take this next 10 or 15 minutes, dive into those questions, get you all the answers that we can. So let's do it, my man. Let's go.
Sounds good. Our first question, what makes CoachNow different from a messaging platform like WhatsApp?
WhatsApp is just basically a text thread like anything else, or a text message thread. So what makes it difficult is once you start adding a lot of pieces of different content, let's say you're a tennis coach, you've got some serving videos, some on the court game videos, maybe you've got some fitness videos, whatever it might be, those are going to be basically impossible to find within a WhatsApp thread. There's other platforms out there that are trying to kind of be a little more similar to CoachNow, but they're still following that threaded idea. And again, the problem is you can't find anything. Additionally, WhatsApp doesn't have any other coaching tools or communication tools that make you more effective in running your coaching business. It wasn't purpose built for that. So WhatsApp would be no different than sending text messages or emails. So hopefully you stay away from tools like that and you come our way so we can help you communicate more effectively, but in the long run also be hyper organized where you can't do that in other places.
Yeah, I'd also add to that with our video analysis suite, right? So that's a big
Of
key
course.
difference. You don't have that stuff built into WhatsApp or anything like that. We were built for coaches by coaches, so we know exactly what you need.
Mm-hmm.
Up next, this person's asking how you get the athlete buy-in to happen. So I think it's kind of referring to the fact of like how do you get someone onto the system of using Coach Now and seeing the value in it when they're first starting.
Right. So we get a lot of questions around this because in the end, this is a relationship platform. And if you're not fostering that relationship, it's not as effective. That said, coaches are using it in some cases just to document their own side of the street, so to speak, when they're coaching and as a way just to keep track of everything. But it's going to always work best if you've got buy-in from everybody involved. One of the most important things is making sure that you do not communicate to your athletes in any other way. So if they're texting you, emailing you, communicating with you on Facebook or WhatsApp, always tell them no. If it's coaching content, if it's important to your development, we're going to toss it into CoachNow. Rule number one is to make sure that you're not using any of those other platforms and you don't allow them to do so. That way everybody can stay in the same area. Additionally, if they're not going to participate, if they're not going to contribute to their own development, you're not going to work with them. So that'd be number two. Within your original offer and agreement with them, you need to make sure that the CoachNow usage is already built in so that you have reasonable expectations. And if they're not following along with those expectations, then again, you're not going to work with them. It's tricky because a lot of coaches are nervous to turn away clientele, but I can share with you that the ones that take the firmest line on how and where they communicate, they're the happiest coaches and their athletes are the ones getting better the fastest because everything's consolidated and their businesses are really healthy because they don't have all these different tools that they're using.
What advice do you have for organizing content like videos and files and all that kind of stuff within Coach Now?
So one of the most important things to understand if you're using CoachNow day one is that you want to add content 95% of the time in the space or group channel that you're coaching in. So let's just give you an example here. If I'm coaching Jerem, we're going to be spending the next hour together. We're working on his golf game. I'm going to be inside of his golf space, capturing all the content during that live session. That way it already knows who to go to and where to go to. Additionally, I'm going to add some tags each time I post something. So a tag could be, in this case, if we're working on a drill, one of the tags would be drill, then the camera angle per se, what the drill was meant to do, and then maybe how successful that drill might have been. And that way, when I'm searching down the road, I know, again, I can go to Jerem's space and I can find these particular pieces of content. It'll also end up in my library with those tags. So tags are really, really important, but I think more so in the creation aspect, if you're going to be working with someone for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour or more, you're not jumping in and out of their space. So just make sure you're in there when you're capturing everything. And the majority of the job's going to be done for you. And then you don't have to go home and send stuff later.
Any insight into kind of the future roadmap for Coach Now? Where do you see Coach Now 2 years from now?
Yeah, so it's a little tricky to put a bunch of flags out there because then we're held up to executing all those in a timely manner. But I can tell you that we're going to continue to improve our video tools. There's going to be some really solid improvements that will allow athletes and coaches more data when it comes to their movement. So I'll let you kind of take with you what that means to you. Additionally, we are going to be moving into even more business tools that allow coaches to monetize their expertise differently. So you can think about learning management systems. We want to implement some of the best practices around managing your content as well as billing for that content. So that's something that's going to happen not just in the next couple of years, but very soon. And then as we move all the way, 2 years out or so, we want to make sure that this continues to be your one-stop shop for everything related to your coaching and your coaching business. And it empowers you to monetize that expertise in many different ways. So without being too specific, those are the directions that we're headed. But we will be releasing a heck of a lot more information on a number of things within the next 6 months. We've got some awesome stuff in the works.
What are some things you don't see coaches use within Coach Now that you wish they would? I guess what's an underappreciated feature that you see?
Well, I'd almost go back to what I just said about tags. I think unlike WhatsApp or your text messages services or maybe some other coaching tools that you might use, it's really difficult to actually organize stuff and more importantly, find historical stuff. So an example, again, if I'm working with Jerem for over a year, we have his baseline technical movement, let's say, and then we've done something today. I want to compare the original video from a year ago to today. That's very difficult if you're relying on just scrolling back through a feed. So within Coach Now, you have the opportunity to not only tag content so you can find it, and you can also search by date. And that's something that is unique to us as well. So it'd be very easy for you to filter through years of content, find exactly what you want, and look at it and or compare it. So I would say, just as you're using Coach Now, if you're getting into it, recognize the power of this index that we help you create, not only at the athlete/space level, but also at the post level.
I think this one is in reference to the upcoming masterclass on Monday of next week. They're wondering what the kind of core takeaway from that class will be and kind of what the outcome is expected, given what we're covering within the course.
Yeah, so if you've been following us here at Coach Now for a while and or me, I'm incredibly passionate about helping coaches move away from kind of the traditional ways they're monetizing their business, a la selling units of time. A lot of sports would relate that back to lessons. And so we try to open up the veil a little bit and help you understand that actually selling a lesson is just selling time. So my objective is to always help coaches move away from that and then not only move away or move into subscription level coaching, but also high ticket coaching. I think any coach that's leveraging Coach Now has an opportunity to charge far more than what they usually do because they can deliver so much more value and effectively they can deliver it in far less time as well. So the end result, you come to this masterclass, my hope for you is that you're not only going to understand the exact offers that people are making, the way they're delivering those offers through Coach Now, the mechanisms of charging and running those subscriptions, but then there's going to be a 7-day challenge attached to it to where within 7 days, your objective is to make sure that you can convert at least one client into these new programs. And I'm going to do everything I can to help you do that with all of the either done for you elements or at least kind of assist you down that path within 7 days.
Are there any coaches that you see in the platform that you think use Coach Now in a unique and interesting way? Just curious to know if you can speak to anyone that you've seen do something unusual.
Yeah, well, I'll speak to a couple. One, I wouldn't necessarily say unusual, but I would say he's an extreme power user to where he has over 4,000 athletes in the platform, and that would be Martin Chuck. And so he's in the world of golf, but you can take these lessons to generally any sport that's skill based, where he's running camps and clinics and does individualized instruction. You guys can all take that as well. But one of the things that he does that no one else does is he maintains those relationships regardless of whether he's actively coaching them. That way, he can bulk message them using our lists feature and announce new products, new events. If he's got a couple spots left at a school that he hasn't sold out, he usually sells those out instantly by messaging folks. So he sees it as his relationship management platform, his way to stay in front of people instead of sending them emails or relying on social media. So, recapping that, if you are a coach, I would encourage you to maintain as many relationships as you can within CoachNow rather than just leave the space or delete the space because you worked so hard to foster that relationship to get them in. And you can use the lists feature to not only organize those spaces, but also bulk message them. So that'd be one major example I think you should take away from this. Additionally, there's a coach named Matt Scoringe who is a surf coach. I think he's doing a great job of not only, well, I think he's doing a great job of using our groups feature to run 3-month cohorts. So he does virtual surf coaching all around the world, and he has people sign up and join these 3-month training cohorts, and he does it in a group setting. They pay him for those 3 months, and they also pay to have access to his long-term kind of development membership, where that's also managed in a group. So he runs multiple groups at once, but he has one that's for his entire membership, and he usually drips out 1 or 2 pieces of content a month, not a whole lot. And then he uses these cohort style groups where he's training, it could be anywhere from 20 or to 30 people at once. And as far as I can see, he's got a booming business, and he's in the process of hiring other coaches to run multiple cohorts for him. So just a few nuggets of how you can use it. He collects the payment outside of the platform. One of these days, and I won't say when, you'll be able to run some of that stuff within CoachNow.
Very cool. I think that pretty much does it for the questions for this week.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning into our AMA here at CoachNow. If you've got questions that weren't answered here, there's going to be a link to a form in the description. So make sure you check that out. We always want to hear from you and make sure that we can help you not only use CoachNow if that's what you're doing, but hopefully just move your coaching business forward. So until next time, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you later.